Hello guys, it's been a while. Today I'm going to teach you how to connect SurrealDB. Um, SurrealDB is a database system, uh, RDMS. Uh, for it's made in Rust. It's fast and it has built-in web server on it. So, for example, you want to store data from from your from your game and like fetch data from your game from the database itself, you can easily do that without extra work. Um, so for example, you just want to connect your database system via HTTP. That's going to be RESTful. Um, it's actually easy. First you need to install Surreal. Then you need to start it with this parameter, this kinds of parameter. It has real start, then you need to add your user, your pass, and where do you want to store the data on. So for example, I want to store it on my surreal folder here. So you can do this through your NAS, through whatever. And I think TIKV, surreal also supports the IKV, so they can you can actually store it here as well. Um, then or if you want to self-host or manage your own database, you can do this as well. Um, so for that to happen, I've readied a lot. As you can see here, we get like testing connection. Then in Unreal Engine, I've actually coded some stuff. So I'm going to guide you or walk you through how I managed to connect SurrealDB in Unreal Engine. So first, you need to have your user and pass because that's going to be your basic authentication, and in the headers, that's going to be your if you're working with Postman, it's going to be here. The username and the password would be the same here. User and pass, and we pass that parameter, and now we have the root as yeshua.ph. And as you can see here, I have a namespace of Unreal Engine NS and a DB of Unreal Database. If we query that, we actually queried it, and we have seen it got a result okay, and it just gives us below um 78 microseconds. And to create it, you actually need to do this as well. So let's create a new user, ph2, and we can select here as well. All the codes will be on the description. um then and the collection itself would be on the description as well. um So as you see here, we have a user with ID, with a random generated ID, username and password as well. Then you know that it's storing our data. We can delete and delete table as well. Then from here, now we can query it. As you see, we just inputted yeshua.ph2, and we can see the yeshua.ph2 in the logs as well. Um, so to do that, what we want to do is you can use C++ or Varest if you want to do this. So what we did is from the begin play, we created an HTTP post request. It's pointing to our URL, which, for example, if you want to deploy this on the cloud or in your game, um, you can have it into your website. For example, my website website, something like that, and you just input the port. You can just change the port as well in Surreal, and you go make a request to that. And as you can see, you can see the reference here. This is from Postman. Since our header is accept application JSON, and NS Unreal Engine NS Unreal database UE database, and we have our authorization here, which is our authorization in this as well. The content type would be text plain because we're passing a body of raw, which is text, and we have the text here as well, and we pass the content, and from that we call this function that adds the data into our screen. So for example, if we want to just query it, we can get the response, then can can actually parse it to a JSON, then we can deal with the data. Um, that's what I did, and we can actually test this on. You can do the other stuffs here. You can create a new character, create or store your data persistence if you wanted. So yeah, Surreal would be better if you hosted it in the cloud. So that's it. And as you can see, we're logging from the Surreal that it's actually from the Strive game UE5 release 5.1. That is Windows, and see it very fast. I don't know if it's just because I'm on localhost, but if we update something here, create a user tree, and we post this, then we should see this when we begin play, and we have the Yashu PH3 there. So yep, you can create that query as well here. Then can add the request. So let's create a request where we will create a new data that we are online or update it as well. Then auto request. Then in online request, we would create this one, and SQL, same endpoint, and we will do a post application JSON, and then the NS, the DB, and the basic. So we can just do this. We can create a new function based on this, just to call this, and we go right here, paste this, and change this to online request. And now data raw. Now we can like create. So we can just copy this or update. We can update this as well. Let's do an update. So update user user uh so what we want is update user at Yashu PH. Let's actually try that. Username username that Yashu PH to set online true. Let's try that out. At least let's try this here first. Where should we do that? Maybe here. Um, so user, let's actually do this. Hold up. Set online true. And as you can see, everything is true now. And do this false, and everything is false now. So we can try this. User set online true, but if you want to have the specific ID, you can pass this here. Then you can do this on setting the data. Then when we have it, process the request, and once we're processing it, we can online request, can do bind it to a lambda function, which is going to be this one, http request pointer request. Have http, there you go. That find lambda. Actually, let's do this. There you go. There you go. It should be satisfied. And once we hit this one, compile, and once we hit the play, we should see that it should turn our user into online if we query it from here. So from select, where select user where online equals true. I can do that as well here. Now, if we, since we have actually compiled it, we can try it. And now we are set the online to true. You can try that out, and you can see that it is on true. So that's how you update data in Unreal Engine, in in SurrealDB. So if anyone wants more in-depth knowledge or about this, I'm going to create a second video or a second tutorial for this. If not, then at least I hope that you learned something how to connect API or SurrealDB into Unreal Engine.